I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
I hope that the music is over now, because we were having a little bit of craziness on this end, so I couldn't exactly tell when the music was dying out. I think that I was going off of the time, but we'll see. Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. This is the Political Spotlight. I, of course, am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. As always, producer Kate is at the controls, making sure that everything is running smoothly as long as we have adequate internet capability. So obviously we want to give a shout out to her and the internet squirrels that are running and keeping that all going. Thank you all for tuning in and giving us a bit of your time. We understand how valuable your time is, and we are honored that you have decided to share this time with us. Before we get into the show, I would like to ask you all to consider hitting the like button and remind any of you that are not subscribers that subscribing to the channel cost you absolutely nothing. It is absolutely free. If you do subscribe to the channel, you are then able to click the bell, which will allow you to be notified when we go live 9 p.m. Eastern, Sunday through Thursday, or when we drop static videos or shorts or other content, yada, yada, yada. Also, we are a very interactive show, which means we are interested in what you have to say. So if you are watching live, please feel free to comment in the live chat box there at the right-hand side. Or if you're watching on your own time via replay, then we will ask that you comment in the comment section below. Most importantly, please help spread the word by sharing the show with everyone you know. That is the single best thing that you can do to help spread the word. Hello there, people. I hope you're having a great weekend. I hope you've enjoyed the weather. We've had a good weekend weather-wise. It's been a little rainy earlier in the day on Saturday and whatnot, but we had a beautiful Friday evening. Maybe it rained Friday evening. I can't really recall. It's been too many days since. But we had a great Saturday, a good Sunday, and I hope you guys are all having a great weekend, killing off a Sunday, and ready to start back the work week again tomorrow. Hope you guys are having a wonderful evening, and we're happy to be here with you. We've got a lot of information to talk about. We've got a lot of things that we are scheduling and trying to plan out for this week. Have a lot of great content, hopefully, to be able to bring you this week, and I think it's going to be interesting. Tonight's show, it's kind of going to be a little loosey-goosey, but we're gonna try to make the best of it. We're going to start off dealing with more national news as we take a look at something that I believe we're going to kind of be on the forefront of. I know a lot of the weekend shows have been able to cover, and they have had a little bit of coverage, but as far as all of the regular talk shows and political shows, those guys, all of them were over by the time this thing happened. And so everybody's going to be talking about it this coming week. And I feel like we will be able to kind of be on the forefront of this because obviously we're a Sunday night show. So see how that goes. Obviously there was an occurrence of a circus show that went on in government on Friday. Some of you may know what we're talking about. Some of you may not. I would hope to think that most of the audience here is pretty tuned in with what goes on. So I think that a lot of you are probably going to know what we're talking about. So we will take a look at the circus that was the circus performance that was held Friday evening by members of the United States Congress. And I'm going to kind of tie that back into something that we talk about not a lot here, but an event that we've talked about several times through the various iterations of this show, whether it be Perception is Reality or Bilbrey Live or whatnot. So we will talk about that and how it ties back to an event in history. And then from there, we're going to, of course, talk about the big news in Delaware County, government news, Delaware County political news. There was a verified petition for recount that was filed on Friday. And I know that there are a lot of people on all sides of this thing that have thoughts and comments about it. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at the pros and the cons and the good and the bad and everything that goes with that. And then we're going to end the program with a little bit of a kind of a free thought, open forum where we're just going to kind of do whatever comes to our mind and talk about. We've got a couple things. Kate brought something up, of course, we'll talk about. So we're going to be a little loosey-goosey there at the end. So, okay, let's go ahead and start out tonight's program with this event that happened on Friday evening. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with this, I have a couple different things to say about it, but I'm gonna show this to you, and we're gonna watch it all unfold, and then we're going to break it down and talk about it and rewatch various parts. So this is at the same time both funny and sad and scary and ignorant and anything else really that you could think of adding. It's absolutely insane that this would happen. Before we get there, let's see what happens. Yeah, Alva says Friday night, Louisiana became the first state to make it mandatory that the 10 Commandments be posted at the schools. What did you guys do? Is that something that your state legislature did? What happened is that are you guys in session down there? What happened? Tell me more about that if you can. I'd be interested in hearing more about that. Maybe we can address that towards the end of the show. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to be bringing you this from CNN here. Let's take a look here.
Does any other member seek recognition?
Mr.
Chair
Chairman,
recognizes Ms. Green.
I'd like to know if any of the Democrats on this committee are employing Judge Mershon's daughter.
Please tell me what that has to do with Merrick Garland.
Is she a porn star?
Oh, Goldman. That's right. He's advising. Okay.
He's advising who? What? Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about
just a-
AG.
uh,
I don't
point
think
of-
you
point of
know what
order.
you're here
President.
for.
Well, you the one talking about. I guess
I
you
think
still
your
stuck in the
fake
courtroom.
eyelashes are messing up.
No,
what you're
ain't
reading.
nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order,
Mr.
That's
Chairman,
beneath
would
even
you
you,
please
Mr. Green. That's
regain
beneath
order
even
of your
you.
committee?
order.
Please.
There's a point of order.
We have a point of order. Mr. Lynch, state your point.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to ask the parliamentarian if your conduct here in raising money in connection with this hearing is referable to the Ethics Committee within this hearing. Is a motion in order to refer your conduct and your abuse of
It's not a
process
point
here?
of order. not a
Mr.
point
I
of
do have a
order.
point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Green's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you
meeting will
attack the
suspend,
physical
meeting will
appearance of another
suspend.
person?
Are your
Move
feelings
her
hurt?
words down.
Oh,
Oh, girl, baby girl.
oh, really?
Don't even play with me.
Baby girl?
We're gonna,
I don't think
we are going to
so.
move, and we're going to take your words down.
I
Thank you very
second that motion.
Ms. Green, do you wish to strike your words?
I have 4 minutes and 21 seconds to speak.
I think we have to do the motion first, and then unless there's another motion, then you'll be recognized again. But I believe there's another motion coming. So you agree to strike your words?
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
agree.
Ms. Green agrees to strike her words.
I believe she
Chair
should
recognizes
apologize. No, no, no.
Mr.
She
Perry.
should
Okay,
apologize.
hold on. Then after Mr. Perry's gonna be recognized, then Ms. Green
I'm
still
not
has 4 minutes and
apologizing.
21
Well,
seconds.
then
Okay,
you're not
reserve the right to
striking your
object.
words.
I am
Mr.
not
Perry.
apologizing.
Now let's go. Come on, guys.
Why don't you debate me?
Mr. Chairman, the
think it's
minority.
pretty
No,
self-evident.
You're not.
Yeah, you're
out
not.
of order.
You don't have enough
You're out of order.
intelligence.
Chair recognizes Mr. Perry.
Okay, move to strike
I'd like to
I
strike
move to
those
strike the
words
lady's
as well.
I move to
I would
strike-
like
Move to
order.
strike the
as
lady's
well.
words again.
Ms. Green, you asked
Ugh.
unanimous. Do you agree to unanimous consent to strike your words?
I repeat again for the second time. Yes, I'll strike
right.
my words,
That-
but I'm not
all right.
apologizing.
Without objection. So Ms. Green asked unanimous consent to strike her words. Mr. Raskin objected. I'm going to recognize Mr. Raskin for his objection. No, we're not counting against Ms. Green has 4 minutes and 21 seconds left. This will not count against her time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I reserve the right to object because the understanding of the minority is that the gentlelady from Georgia would move to take her words down and strike her words and to offer a sincere apology for having engaged in personalities against another member, offending her personal appearance and insulting her. We don't do that in this committee. And I think the major problem was that we allowed pornography in this committee and we've gone down a bad road. But in any event, we should not allow face-to-face ad hominem insults. It's totally contrary to the rules of the House of Representatives. And I would ask Ms. Green if she would just make the apology. It's not that complicated. We don't want to get into face-to-face insults.
You will never get an apology out of me. I
Then
don't owe
then
you
I
one.
object. Then I
All right.
object,
Mr.
Mr. Chairman.
Raskins objects.
I think we don't want to see a complete dissent of our committee. And the verbatim quote, verbatim quote of the gentlelady was, "I think your fake eyelashes are messing up your reading." That is what she said. I think your fake eyelash, and that's obviously engaging in personalities. It's an ad hominem attack. And I would just ask every member of this committee, in a fair-minded way, would you want to be
Hello
talked
there,
to,
GW.
in that way about your personal appearance by another member of the committee? Because what we're doing is we're setting standards going forward.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
What now?
Oh, what now? Oh,
Chairman,
what now?
I'm
I make
trying to
I make a
find
motion to strike those
clarification.
words.
I don't think that's a
Hold on.
part
I'm
of it.
trying to find clarification on what
Chairman,
qualifies.
I didn't-
motion to
I had
strike
no
those
idea what
words.
you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just.
Oh,
said
you
yes.
just-
Y'all did it first.
voted to do
Y'all did
it.
it first, so you
You
don't want to
just
talk about
voted
it.
to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get
Okay.
clarification.
Look at, calm down.
Look
calm
at
down.
No,
calm down.
because this
I
is
would
what
like
y'all
to get
do.
through
So
proceeding.
I'm trying
Hey,
to
Miss
get
Crockett,
clarification.
you're not
Y'all wanna
recognized.
play
Miss
games.
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your
And you
yelling.
don't want me
Calm
to be-
down.
No,
Can you please calm
don't
down?
tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take it.
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
Take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna
If
have a
I come and
problem.
talk shit about her, she just said, while.
Who wants to take a whack at this?
Look at this.
I mean, these people are elected.
Okay. So we're gonna break that down here in a minute. We're gonna look at all that. But yeah, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. I've watched this now several times. I've listened to a lot of different like weekend just news coverage of this. Most of the commentary shows, they've not even had a chance to dive into this because this happened in the evening, Friday evening. So everybody was off air and it was all gone because we went into the weekend. So, you know, I've had a chance to kind of look at this and hear a lot of the weekend shows on the various cable news networks as far as their news coverage of this. But it's just very interesting. First of all, I have to say that this is a House Oversight Committee meeting, and it is basically it was the panel met late Friday night to advance the contempt proceedings against Attorney General Merrick Garland over his refusal to turn over audio recordings of President Joe Biden's interview with special counsel Robert Hur. And then because of that meeting being held Friday night, I don't know if they thought like, it's Friday night, so we could be other places. We shouldn't be here. They were mad about being there. There were some allegations that maybe alcohol had played a role in this. They're talking about the fact that that there were members of the House that had red Solo cups in their various different backroom chambers, and that is something that generally is not something that happens. And so I just, it brings me back to remembering when they changed the rules to allow Fetterman to wear like shorts and a hoodie. Look, man, I used to wear a uniform to work and wore it every day. Then I had another type of uniform. When I worked at the prosecutor's office, wore dress up clothing like every day. And then there was a point in my life that I was like, hey, I don't have to dress up like that. I have to be perfectly honest. I love hoodies. I love wearing comfortable clothing. I'm a bigger guy. I'm going to wear that anytime I want. But I'm also not a member of Congress. Like if for some unknown reason I woke up tomorrow morning and I'm a member of Congress, I realize more than likely that I'm not going to get by wearing a hoodie. Like I'm going to have to probably squeeze my fat ass into regular people clothing. And I remember thinking then like, okay, this is a slippery slope. You know, now we're letting like red Solo cups. Next, we're going to be doing keg stands. I mean, it's just really, really, really kind of crazy how far that the decorum has slipped. Now, Ryan, of course, says he personally loved the excitement to an otherwise boring meeting. Yeah, the meeting's boring. Listen, first of all, we have to look. The reason this meeting was pushed into the evening was because a lot of the Republicans wanted to be able to make the trip from D.C. to New York to stand online to wave to Donnie Trump as he walked into his court hearing Friday morning. So now that I have a problem with. Listen, relax. Don't come at me. I don't care if you're a Republican or you're Democrat. There are cell phones. You have people that work for you. Someone should be able in your office to follow what's going on and should be able to get note to you, get word to you, should be able to text you on your device. The fact that we are canceling government so that these people can go fanboy outside of a hearing in New York and then have to make the trip back to DC to then do the will of the people, or to attempt to do the will of the people. That, in my opinion, is the first mistake. Okay. I do not like that these congressmen, for whatever reason, felt like they need, I mean, it's not like they were going to be like, someone said that they're all vying for second place. Yeah, who paid for that trip? Furthermore, what all was pushed off? I'm sure that there were maybe even more important things than this that were pushed off just that they could go and say, like, look, we're here, we're supporting you. Give him a phone call, call him, text him, let him know that you're thinking about him if you want him to win or you want him to do whatever. But the fact that, listen, we just have to put this in like Delaware County or Henry County or Madison County government. Tomorrow's the 20th. The Delaware County, Randolph County commissioners are supposed to be meeting. Tomorrow at 6 p.m., Winchester City Council government's supposed to meet. The 21st at 10, Madison County is supposed to meet. Wednesday, the Board of Works are supposed to meet at 9 a.m. Henry County is supposed to meet at 6 p.m. Henry County is supposed to meet at 4 p.m. on Thursday. Next Tuesday, the Delaware County Council is supposed to meet at 9 a.m. If any of those government entities would cancel a meeting because they wanted to go sit in a criminal or civil trial going on, I would lose my gourd. We would all be on here bitching and going crazy. The fact that this is the federal government doing this does not make it any better. So that's my first gripe with all of this. Now, from the perspective of somebody that likes the commentary and is just kind of along for the ride, I also kind of like the shit show of it all. That's what I'm saying. It's like such a weird feeling here because it's like exciting and fun and cool and sad and discuss. It makes it worse. The fact that this is the federal government, that they are not more, kind of, tempered than this. You know what I mean? I would bail on my council meeting in an instant to go back to Don. Jesus. Oh, God. Okay, so, all right. Now, here's what I want to do. I want to go back in. What if they postponed their meeting to go to a trial for Sproul's behavior? Yeah, listen, if they're subpoenaed, there's a difference between having an actual subpoena because you got to testify. Okay. That's the difference. That's the difference there, Ryan. Here's the thing. These people specifically pushed for this to be rescheduled. And that's the problem that I have. It's, I'm not big on that. That's like, well, look, it's not much different than there being a meeting of the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission scheduled for a week and a half before an election. And because there's a lot of people that are mad about an issue with the Redevelopment Commission just says, we're not going to be able to be there, so we're just not going to have this meeting this month. We'll have it next month. Those kind of things I do not like. I am not big on that. You people are elected to do the will and the work of the people. Be in your seats at the times you're supposed to be and doing that. Would this have happened if it was happening at 9:00 in the morning? Yeah, maybe. Who knows? It's all the same people, so that might not have done any difference. But my thought is, were they drinking all day? They were getting drunk on the way to New York. They were drinking on the way back, and they like carried the party on into the House chambers. Just very, very, very strange. Like the one Amber said that she couldn't attend, but then they didn't. Any questions? It wasn't that she couldn't attend it. It was that she wasn't on the board. She wasn't on the board. Amber didn't take her seat on the board until January. So the actual actions that took place happened in November. And she said that she wasn't there because she wasn't a member. But she had questions about what it was, and nobody wanted to fill her in, and they're still. Matter of fact, I have a record request out still for information about this that they have refused to answer, and they've been refusing to answer those questions now since March. So that's very interesting. Okay, getting back to this, I want to take a look. I want to take a look at this, and I want to break this down here just a little bit. So we're gonna take this back now. I'm going to show you a couple different things here that's of interest. Okay. So I don't actually know what time this occurred. I know they said it was late into the evening, but all right, here we go.
Does any other member seek recognition?
Mr.
Chair
Chairman.
recognizes Ms.
Okay. So right here's the chair. Okay. And he just asked if anyone else was seeking recognition. And Marjorie Taylor Greene raised her hand, and she asked for permission, and the chair recognized Greene. Okay, so everything's currently in order here. Okay, here we go.
Screen.
I'd like to know if any of the Democrats on this committee are employing Judge Mershon's daughter.
Okay, like, look, I don't know specifically why she wants to know this. I don't know what employing the daughter in what way, what's happening, like, but look, if you answer the question, if you're employing the woman, say, yeah, we're employing her. I guess we'd figure out why. If they're not employing her, saying, no, we're not employing her. Okay. I'm not the world's biggest fan of Marjorie Taylor Greene because I think it's more performance than it is work. But it is what it is. To each their own. That being said, I don't find anything wrong with that question. Okay. Now the Democrats immediately have an issue, so let's listen to this.
Please tell me what that has to do with Merrick Garland.
Please tell me what that has to do with Merrick Garland. Okay. Now, I think right there, Crockett is out of order in the way that she responded. So she should be out of order there. Okay. That's the first issue.
Is she a porn star?
Is she a porn star? They ask. Okay. So now we've got this. So I don't know what the deal is here, but that's that. Okay. So here we go.
Oh, Goldman. That's right. He's advising. Okay.
He's advising who? What? Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here.
See, all of this commentary, someone should be calling point of order. All of this commentary here saying, do you know what we're here for? Leading all of that up. That's technically stuff that should not being said.
Here about
I
don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about. I guess
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No,
what you're
ain't
reading.
nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
Mr. Chairman.
That's beneath
would
even
you-
Okay. Whatever. Shouldn't have said it. Stupid. It's talking about a person's appearance, yada yada yada, nonsense, and like a man would not have ever said that. A man would have never said that to a woman. I think everyone knows that women can be catty, specifically when dealing with each other. And so that's whatever. They get mad at her and they want her to strike. Now, they don't come out and say, we want her to apologize and strike her words. They say we want her words to be taken down, to be stricken from the record. Okay. And Marjorie Taylor Greene apparently has a moment of clarity and says, yeah, okay, yes, I'm okay with that. Strike those words. All right, let's listen.
Get the order of your committee.
Order.
Please.
There's a point of order.
We have a point of order. Mr. Lynch, state your point.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to ask the parliamentarian if your conduct here in raising money in connection.
Now, Mr. Lynch is like 4 or 5 pages behind everybody else. He's like, I'm not even watching this shit show going on down below. I got my own agenda. And so this has got nothing to do with anything else that's just happened, which I like. This guy's like completely off. All right, let's listen to what this guy wants.
Connection with this hearing is referable to the ethics committee within this hearing. Is a motion in order to refer your conduct and your abuse of
It's not a
process.
point of order. not a
Mr.
point
I
of
do have a
order.
point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Green's words. That is absolutely.
Okay, so here's AOC. AOC is like, I got a point of order. And she's like, I'm not even going to wait till I'm recognized. I'm going to say, I got a point of order. Then I'm just going to bark everything out. Now, I do think that they were right. Mr. Lynch's point of order was not, I don't know where he must have just woke up and was like, whoa, I better say something. So his was not. AOC, like her or don't like her, her point of order is valid. She wants some words to be stricken. Okay. However, I think it's fine her saying that, look, you don't have to like her, but she's still able to say what she wants to say. I think it's fine her saying, whether you agree or not, that it's unacceptable, yada, yada, yada. She can have her opinion. She can say what she wants to say on this. I think that this is fine. And then we jump the shark here in a minute.
Absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack
meeting will
the
suspend,
physical
meeting will
appearance of another
suspend.
person?
Are your
Move
feelings
her
hurt?
words down.
Oh,
Oh, girl, baby,
Now,
girl.
then all
Oh,
this
really?
nonsense.
Don't even play, with me.
baby girl. I don't think
we are gonna
so.
move and we're gonna take your words down.
I
Thank you very
second
much.
that motion.
Ms. Green, do you wish to strike your words?
I have 4 minutes and 21 seconds to speak.
I think we have to do the motion first, and then unless there's another motion, then you'll be recognized again. But I believe there's another motion coming. So you agree to strike your words?
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
agree.
Okay. Do you agree to strike your words? She says, yes, I will agree. Now, did anyone in their right mind at this point think that we were going to get an apology from MTG? Like, if you're a fan of her or you're not a fan of her, we can all agree, the fans and the non-fans, we can agree we were not going to get an apology out of her. So to force this issue is kind of nonsensical because she agreed, like that's a win there. Okay, she's taking it down. If you didn't like what she said, she's agreeing to take it down. So here now they move the goalpost.
Ms. Green agrees to strike her words.
I believe she
Chair
should
recognizes
apologize. No. She
Terry,
should
okay,
apologize.
hold on.
Now that she's going to strike her words, now we think that she should apologize and strike her words.
Then after Mr. Perry's going to be recognized, then Ms.
I'm
Green
not
has 4 minutes and
apologizing.
21
Well,
seconds.
then
Okay,
you're not
reserve the right to
striking your
object.
words.
Okay, all right. So now this is interesting. So now Ocasio-Cortez says, well, if you're not apologizing, then we're not striking your words. What? Wait a minute. If you're not apologizing, we're not striking your words. So I'm surprised that Marjorie Taylor Greene didn't say, okay, well then I don't strike those words. Or, like, what do you mean? She agreed to strike the words. They said, okay, you as Ocasio-Cortez don't get to say, well, if you're not apologizing, we're not striking your words. Why, if the words are what's bothersome and you want the words beat her up in the press for not apologizing or whatever, all you want to do. But forcing this issue here is insane. And for any of you making comments right now, I'm off screen. I'll be back on screen here in a minute. So just FYI, I should have told you beforehand, but I'm off screen. So stand by. Here we go.
I am
Mr.
not
Chair.
apologizing.
Now let's go. Come on, guys.
Come on, guys.
Why don't you debate me?
Mr. Chairman,
Why don't you debate me? I mean, like when? Right now? The
I think it's
minority.
pretty
No,
self-evident.
You're not.
Yeah, you're
out
not.
of order.
You don't have enough
You're out of order.
intelligence.
Chair recognizes Mr.
Oh.
Perry.
Okay, move to strike
I'd
the.
like to
I
strike
move to
those
strike the
words
lady's
as well.
I move to
I would
strike-
like to
Order.
strike
Strike
those
the
as
lady's
well.
words again.
Ms. Green, do you ask unanimous? Do you agree to unanimous consent to strike your words?
Okay, they're asking her again. Do you agree to strike your words? To which Green says,
I repeat again for the second time. Yes, I'll strike
right.
my words,
That-
but I'm not
I will strike my words, but I'm not apologizing.
apologizing.
Without objection. So Ms. Green asked unanimous consent to strike her words. Mr. Raskin objected. I'm going to recognize Mr. Raskin for his objection. No, we're not.
Now Raskin is objecting to her apparently striking her words without the apology.
Counting against Ms. Green has 4 minutes and 21 seconds left. This will not count against her time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I reserve the right to object because the understanding of the minority is that the gentlelady from Georgia would move to take her words down and strike her words and to offer a sincere apology for having.
No, that wasn't what was originally asked. That was not asked. I think they're wrong here. I think no one has ever made a motion for her to apologize. The motion was made. They wanted to strike. They asked her. She agreed to strike. Now they're putting in information that was not there. Okay. So I don't know what Raskin is doing here. Okay. So I don't think this is right.
Engage in personalities against another member, offending her personal appearance.
But at this point, we've had now Marjorie saying her thing, Ocasio-Cortez saying the baby girl nonsense. So they're both saying like shit that shouldn't be said here. All right.
And insulting her. We don't do that in this committee. And I think the major problem was that
Yeah,
we
because if we were going to insult somebody, I would ask what's the hell's up with this guy's hair? What is going on with this dude's head?
allowed pornography in this committee, and we've gone down a bad road. But in any event,
yeah, we got pornography in. We brought pornography in here today. Not to mention whatever was going on a couple months ago when there was an actual porn shot in the halls of Congress. Let's go on from there.
should not allow face-to-face ad hominem insults. It's totally contrary to the rules.
I
of the
agree
House
with all of
Representatives.
this.
And I would
On
ask
both
you,
sides.
Ms. Green, if she would just make the apology.
She's already said she's not going to. What are we fighting this for? That's insane. All they're doing now, this is just a game at this point. All right, because she's already said she'd strike the words, but she is not going to apologize.
It's not that complicated. We don't want to get into face-to-face insults.
You will never get an apology out of me.
Okay, and she said it there. So ask 5 more times or ask 105 more times. She's not going to apologize.
I don't owe
Then
you
I
one.
object. Then I object, Mr.
Mr.
Chairman.
Raskins objects.
Then I object to striking words. Okay, let's move on. They no longer want the words objected to. Taylor, they can call her trash or whatever they want to say. She's, she wouldn't apologize. Let's move forward. Okay. But now we derail again.
I think we don't want to see a complete dissent of our committee.
It's kind of funny that he said that right then.
And the verbatim quote, of the gentleman
And the only thing better is now he's getting ready to re-say these words.
was, "I think your fake eyelashes are messing up your reading." That is what she said. I think your fake eyelash, and that's obviously engaging in personalities. It's an ad hominem attack, and I would just ask every member of this committee, in a fair-minded way, would you want to be talked to in that way about your personal appearance by another member of the committee? Because what we're doing is we're setting standards going forward.
I'm just curious, just to better
Here we go.
understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
That's my favorite part of the entire. That's my favorite part of the entire thing.
Bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
A what now? A what now?
Chairman,
I'm
I make
trying to
a
find
motion to strike
clarification.
those words.
I don't think.
Now somebody off camera is talking for the first time, and look at this guy here. He's like, whoa, what am I doing here? Somebody pass me a red Solo cup. Okay. Now let's go back up here real quick and see as she's asking those questions what Raskins is doing. Okay, let's watch this.
Going forward.
I'm just curious, just to
Here he
better
is.
understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be.
He like looks directly at MTG, and he's got to be thinking, "Oh no!" All right.
Engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
And did you see him smile? He smiled. What? I mean, these people are all idiots.
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's
Hold
a
on.
I'm
parliament.
trying to find
I don't think that's a.
clarification on what quality.
Chairman,
didn't-
motion to
I had
strike
Now
those.
look at him. See, he's clearly like he was okay with that. He thought that was funny. Mr. Raskins, he thought that was funny. He did. He thought that was funny. So if he thought that was funny, he's going to have to let the eyelashes slide. I'm telling you, he got caught. Did he not know he was on camera here? These people are all idiots.
I did what
Words.
you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys.
Now, the voice that we're hearing, and I've never heard anybody talk to this woman. The voice that we are hearing is Representative Ana Paulina Luna out of Florida, and she's the one that now takes over. Because so first it's Marjorie Taylor Greene versus Crockett, then Ocasio-Cortez jumps in to start battling for Crockett against Greene, and now Ana Paulina Luna starts battling Crockett on behalf of Greene. All right, and so now it goes back and forth with Ana Paulina Luna and Crockett.
Earlier, literally just.
You just voted to do
Y'all did
it.
it first, so you don't want to talk about it.
Voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get
Okay.
clarification.
Look at, calm down. Calm
No,
down.
because this
I
is
would
what
like
y'all
to get
do.
through
So
proceedings.
I'm trying
Hey,
to get
Miss
clarification.
Crockett, you're not
Y'all wanna
recognized.
play
Miss
games
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your
and you
yelling.
don't want me
Calm
to be-
down.
No,
Can you please calm
don't
down?
tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise.
down.
And look at this guy. He's laughing over here. I mean, all these dude, this guy's laughing. Everybody doesn't. This person's still trying to find out if he can get the chairman in trouble for whatever he was doing earlier.
Then you
You're
can't
out of
take it.
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a
If I come down here and talk about shit about her, so she's now cursing on the floor.
Control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
If I come down and talk shit about her,
gonna have a
Mr.
problem.
Chairman,
you're
Mr.
all going to have a
Chairman.
problem. Okay. So make caning legal again. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Ratchet. The whole thing was insane. Chick fight aisle 7. Yeah. So what's interesting here is, and I know as soon as I say this, that there are going to be a couple of people that are going to be like, oh, he's stealing that from Beck. Okay. And I want to say, yeah, I'll be really honest. The Blaze team are the only commentary team that I have heard that have talked about this. And I did get the idea from Beck. But to that, I say, long before Beck talked about this, we talk about this here all the time. Niles has brought this up. Nearly anytime Niles, Kate's husband, has been on the show, he has at some point brought up the caning of Charles Sumner. Now, if those of you that might not know what I'm talking about, there was an event that occurred amazingly in May 22nd of 1856 in the United States Senate chamber, when Representative Preston Brooks, a pro-slavery Democrat from South Carolina, used a walking cane to attack Senator Charles Sumner, an abolitionist Republican from Massachusetts. The attack was in retaliation for an speech that Sumner gave 2 days earlier in which he fiercely criticized slaveholders, including pro-slavery South Carolina Senator Andrew Butler, a relative of Brooks. The beating nearly killed Sumner and contributed significantly to the country's polarization in the issue of slavery. And honestly, this is seen by a lot of people as like the kind of like the spark to the Civil War. Although Sumner was unable to return to the Senate until December of 1859, the Massachusetts legislature refused to replace him, leaving his empty desk in the Senate as a public reminder of the attack. And so basically, Sumner had given a speech, and in doing so, he had really fired up a lot of people. And because of that, then Brooks had walked down and beat him. He would have killed him if Sumner could not have crawled under the desk to where he could protect his head. It actually caused Sumner to have a stroke. He broke the metal piece, and the heavy part of the cane actually broke off from the cane. I mean, he beat this guy very severely. And so this is something that we've talked about on this program a lot. And, you know, what's interesting is the way that Beck brought this up was, for years, he says that he has been looking for what he would consider to be the kind of the official kind of spark that he would look at to see as being the spark to what he would think would be like the new Civil War in America. And that's what he's actually calling this. Now, I think that that might be a little bit of a stretch, but it's interesting to hear how this is being perceived. And to me, just to see the absolute breakdown of government to this kind of to this level. What's interesting is to listen to some of these people. Listen, I want you to hear these news commentators that were on, like, right when this happened. All right, I want you to hear this, what they had to say about this.
Who wants to take a whack?
And of course, this is CNN, supposedly left-leaning, you know, which I agree that they are. That's my personal belief, but it's not like they're specifically coming out and saying one. They're at a loss for words. Totally.
I mean, these people are elected. Like,
I agree.
This goes to the whole thing we're talking about all day today. But how far have we come? And like, why are these people even acceptable? This is, I mean, like, it's disgusting that this is how they're behaving. And why are they attacking each other personally? They have enough to attack each other on their views. They don't need to attack each other on their eyelashes and their hair.
Here, what's depressing about this is that it's not that unusual for the House these days. I mean, whether it was Kevin McCarthy's many rounds to get elected speaker, people getting in each other's faces, they almost started hitting each other during that. And so it's not just these three women. I've watched the men behave unbelievably, calling each other names. The House is in absolute chaos, and we have been electing a lot of clowns in this country, and we are getting a circus.
I'm sure that it has always been true that there are clowns in the House of Representatives. There also used to be a career path where you put your head down, you did the work, you amassed some seniority, you build a staff, you build a reputation, you build partnerships, and you pass laws, which is what you were there to do. And this is I
like what this guy
comic
says.
And eye-catching side of the problem with the Congresses of the past few years, which is they're remarkably unproductive. And, you know, when you think about problems that Americans have, from the cost of nursing home care to how do you get health insurance to climate change to are the taxes too high?
Nobody cares about that shit. They're in here fighting each other and worrying and carrying on. They are remarkably unproductive. I like those words that he said. It's just gross that these people are not doing. This is not what we sent them there to do. This we have got to a point, and again, I think it's this whole concept of it's got to be us versus them rather than all of us versus the nonsense. I think that's kind of what it does. And I think what happens is I think part of the issue is this is all designed, and it's all part of the design to get us, the citizens, to break off into our sides, because of course now you're seeing the people who are putting up the memes in favor of Marjorie. You're seeing the people who are putting up the memes in favor of Crockett. And it's like, no, you guys are doing the wrong thing. We should all be disappointed at the whole lot of things. It's not just Stumblefoot. I just saw that. Your mom is so political, she swings both ways. I love it. I see that. That's just so Texas still has mutual combat, but these people are talking yeah, that's exactly right. They're talking like they do online. And again, I always say that's been a part of what this country, maybe the world's problem is the whole ability for people to talk like they do online. We've been ingrained to be able to say whatever we want because people don't realize that used to in the world you could get punched in the mouth, and that's still very really a possibility, but people just don't realize it because they're so used to shit talking whoever they want, whenever they want, however long they want behind a screen, and nothing happens. And so it's just so bizarre. I would say this happened Friday, so it was like it happened too close to. I imagine I didn't see anything on Saturday Night Live about this. I'm just absolutely sure that this will come up in a Saturday Night Live sketch at some point. I'm surprised they didn't try to fit it in for Saturday, but it was just too close. I would say they probably couldn't. But it's going to be interesting to see where we go from here, and how much more breakdown we get, and we'll see. Eventually, I think we will see sometime sooner rather than later actual beating, fighting, fisticuffs, brawl on the floor. And, again, I don't know. Maybe we need it. Maybe we don't. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. This didn't get this level of tension until Crockett stood up for herself. What do you mean? What do you mean, Tweety Bird? This didn't get this. It all happened at the same time. What do you mean it didn't get this level of attention? It was all at the same time. This doesn't bother me one bit. They've never done any of the I would assume that you're saying anything for the American people. But shouldn't it like, I guess that's where I say, to me, these people are already all screwed up. It don't matter. To me, this is where I say we need to start electing better people to local government. So those local government people that are normal, everyday citizens then can be elected to state government. So then those people can be elected to federal government. Oh, yes. I agree. Absolutely. I agree with that. And I see what you're saying there on that, Tweety Bird. I just don't know. I mean, this was a clear breakdown Friday evening. It was Friday evening. This was an absolute clear breakdown. And this, in my opinion, this should be embarrassing for all sides. All sides, in my opinion. Everyone, we don't need. No, I know. That's absolutely. Yeah, maybe we need them. Maybe we need a good big brawl, and whoever's standing there, like, okay, you guys are the people, that's left. I don't know. I'm just saying this nonsense to me looks like, we're not getting anywhere from here. Voting to strike MTG words yet did the exact same thing. We need to flood the local elections with candidates, at least 5 candidates for every elected position. This is how to take on the establishment. Absolutely. Ryan, I've been saying that since 2013. I've been saying we need to get back to a time. I remember when in Delaware County primaries, there were 4 and 5 people on both the Republican side and 3, 4, 5 people on the Democrat side. And you would have a chance at that point to have someone that you could pick and say, okay, well, these 2 or 3 candidates, they're not real serious, or they're goofballs, but there's somebody in here that's the best of the pick. I agree. We do need to get back to a point where we can see that. Kate says the Libertarians have a commissioner candidate in Randolph County. Is that Coy? Did you guys pick that? Okay, that's good. But you dilute the vote, just like our governor race. Dems don't do it, just Republicans now. The problem with the looting, I think the problem with the Indiana governor's candidates were it was diluted with a bunch of people that all sucked. Like, we didn't have an actual choice of like there's a really good, exciting candidate that nobody's excited about any of these candidates anymore. Nobody's excited about any candidates ever. Period. Up and down the line. No one's excited about president. No one's excited about Congress. Nobody's excited about governor. Nobody's excited about commissioner. Nobody's excited about city council. Nobody's excited about mayor. Nobody is excited to any of these candidates. Here comes my feminist side. Men have been doing this since the beginning of time. When women stand their ground, they are ridiculed for it. I guess. See, I've long sighed. I guess here's the thing. I want to be very clear. I don't have a problem with people being passionate and arguing and fighting. I don't even probably honestly have a problem with people duking it out if it's a passionate argument. But they're not arguing about specific issues. They're arguing about being a bleach blonde butch and having fake eyebrows. That's what they're arguing. And fake eyelashes. That's what they're arguing about. Or they're arguing about, nonsense. They're not arguing about issues. I don't have a problem when people are passionate and fighting about issues. I've long said that the American government, from the federal down to the local, need to get tougher and to be able to tolerate more passion, very similar to the United Kingdom, how they're willing to be able to argue back passionately, but not trading barbs when we're talking about shit that doesn't matter. Like the caddy fights to me is not that's not what the people are there to see. And I don't care if it's men or women or whatever. It's not a passion filled, like, this is my belief and this is what I'm standing for. I'm mad because I don't want to put solar in, or I'm mad because I want to put solar in, or I'm mad because we don't need to be stealing water from Tippecanoe County and taking it down to, wherever. Or I'm mad because we do need to be stealing the water. Those are issues that people can be mad about and can be passionate about and can argue and can induce anger. And I'm okay with that. Like when I go into the Board of Works and I'm like, hey, you guys ought to be speaking to the public a little bit nicer. You ought to be able to understand that we want you to do your job. You ought to understand that you should be going through these claims line by line by line. I think it's personally, I think that it is okay for me to be angry that these people aren't doing their job, and it's okay for me to show that anger. What I have a problem with is the people who are angry because I'm mad about who you support, and so therefore I'm going to call your candidate dumb. And so now we're trading barbs about you being dumb or your candidate being dumb. We're no longer trading barbs about what the actual issues are. I think we're mad. We're mad about the wrong things. That's what I'm saying there, Tweety Bird. I don't approve of any candidate that is going on about the wrong thing. When we're going on about nonsense over issues, that is the problem. That's where the problems lie. We don't have people who are serious about issues anymore. We are now running people against people just because they're not other people. And that's how we vote. And that's why people don't vote. And that's why we see 5% turnout. And that's why we see, 8% turnout, because no one is excited about candidates anymore. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yep. Local, state, federal, absolutely. We need more people to start being that way. We need more people than the handful of folks that are interested in politics to be there and to be upset about that. We need to find a way to get people excited. This week, I was going to try to do it last week, but I just didn't get a chance to have it. This week, I'm going to have on, hopefully if I'm able to make it work, I'm going to have on my cousin, and that's going to move us into our second topic here. My cousin is one of the people that voted in the Delaware County primary 2 or 3 weeks ago. And she went and voted, and everything was fine. There was no issue. And then the votes came in, and we went all through the votes, and everything was fine. She thought everything was fine. She had her little sticker. She made her Facebook page. Everything was fine. All was well. And then 2 days after the election, she realized that, wait a minute, as somebody who went into my polling place and voted at the Eden Church, my vote is not counted. For some reason, it says that there were 0 people that went in there. And she got upset, and she emailed the clerk's office, and she contacted me, and she started talking to various people. And then we figured out kind of what was going on, or at least we think that we figured out what was going on. And so she was like, hey, this is something that upsets me. I'm getting involved. And I've often said that basically what happens is, first of all, we need a push. That was precinct 90 it's the one that we've talked about on here. But I've often said that we need to have a push to get younger people involved. We need to find out a way to make politics interesting for younger people so we can get the 18 and 19 and 20 and 25 and 30-year-old folks. Because what happens is, and I've said this many times, these people go through life and they're not interested, or maybe they're loosely interested, or maybe they vote in presidential, but they don't know anything about their local people. And so that's just what happens. And then one day they're in their house, they've got through college, they're married, they've got a couple of kids, they're divorced or whatever, they're living their life the way they want to, and they're 38, 39, 40 years old, they're paying taxes and doing their thing. And then one day they find out their neighbor's putting a fence 2 feet onto their property, or they go into a polling place and they vote and their vote isn't being counted, or the city that they live in is going to put a plant in that's going to be very toxic to the people in the city, or they find out that they're not taking care of the homeless people, or whatever the issue is that winds the people up. And then for the first time ever in their lives at 40 years old, they're now involved in politics. And they're like, oh, I want to get involved. I want to get involved. And basically what happens, and I've seen this so many times, you have a very short window with those people. You have a very short time that you can hook those people in and get them excited and really keep their interest. And if you don't, then, they just fade back out, and then, whatever happens. But I do agree, we do need to hook those people in, but we also need to find a way to hook the younger people as well. And my cousin is one of those people who right now she's in this stage where she's in her late 30s, early 40s, and she's like, I want to get involved, and I want to, I'm pissed off at how things are going at the national level, and I'm pissed off about how things are going at the state level, and I'm pissed off about how things are going at the local level, and I want to get involved. And I'm like, okay, well, that's perfect. Let's get involved. So I'm going to have her come on and talk and just kind of give her, point of view of where she is in life and what would get her interested and what would get her involved, and how we can better aim our show at people of that age or younger people and try to get folks interested. Sounds like me, Nicole says. It's hard to get involved with local government voting when the system is corrupt, like we've seen in the last first election, how the election is here in Delaware County. Involved means, yeah, that's the thing. Number one, I think that with younger people in politics is where you will see the style of conversing is different from what older people are used to. Absolutely. That's probably a little true as well. And we have to understand that there's going to be a little bit of a generational gap when you've still got the, 70 and 80-year-old men who have been in charge of what's going on for so long, and you're starting to bring in younger folks. You're going to have a generational gap, and I understand that. And I understand even my thinking is different than people who are 20 or 30, But I do believe that we have a major issue where civics are not being taught, as Jeanette has said. Civics need to be taught in junior high. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you the story. First of all, I do want to reiterate what Kate has said here. Getting involved means getting educated, and that's very true. I've always said, I don't say let's get involved. The very first thing I say is, let's get educated. You have to get educated. You have to get educated before you get involved. If you get involved before you're educated, it does no good. It does absolutely no good. Is she married, Alva? Yeah, yes, she's married. Politics are overwhelming to most because they don't know who stands for what. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of work. It's not something like you just say, okay, well, I'm involved and it's election day and I'm going to go vote and that's it. You got to do some work. You've got to network with people. Maybe you're not going to be able to attend every meeting. Maybe you need to network with people this person will go to the board of works, or this person will keep you posted on what goes on at the council. Or, you just need to know where you can get trusted information from. And that might not even be, a TV channel or a news station. It might be, a podcast or something on YouTube, or it might be, it might be, talking to somebody that you work with. Brandon has talked about, Brandon tries to do the best that he can to keep, I think, his political side and his work side separate. And I think he does a good job at that. But even Brandon has said that, there will be various people who will come up and talk to him or talk to him on lunch or whatever. And he's turned a couple people on to a couple different things that they honestly did not know about before, he talked to them, and a couple things, they disagreed with him on, and they were like, I don't believe you. And he's like, well, go look. And then they would come back and they would be like, oh, well, you're right. Or right here at the Political Spotlight. Absolutely. Janet, I don't know, I can always mess your name up. Janet. Also, MSN plays a huge role in manipulating the truth about politicians. You have to seek multiple sources. That's exactly right. That's exactly correct. And I'll tell you this, that something that I have talked about is that let me see here. When Janet was talking about bringing civics back, when I was doing Perception is Reality, I had a friend of mine from high school who, her and her kids, she had middle school and high school aged kids, and her family would listen to my audio podcasts and they would watch my live videos, and she would comment routinely and say, would you please do a special or once a month, or maybe one episode out of the month or something like that. Would you please talk about the civics, go over the basics that people need to know? My kids, I would love to go over this with my kids, and I would love to watch this. And I would be like, yeah, that would be awesome. And so basically back at that time, what I did was I had an audio podcast, and I would do nightly live videos on Facebook. And then I would do an audio podcast that we would put out 2 days a week. We would put the audio podcast out, Perception is Reality, on Tuesdays and Saturdays. And so what I would do is the Tuesday show, I would talk about things that were going on. And then the Saturday show, I started using as the day where I would talk about civics. And I would remind everybody, all right, it's the end of the Tuesday show. Remember, this Saturday, we're going to be talking about civics. Be sure to tune in. And I would do the civics show, and I would spend time recording it and looking stuff up and doing all of this stuff and editing and getting it posted. And I would push it out, and nobody would listen to it. Our numbers fell drastically. So then the next live video she was on watching, and she was like, "Hey, I love the show that you did." And I was like, "Well, I'm glad that you said that." You know, I was like, I'm glad that you're saying that, but I just have to be honest, like nobody else did, because the numbers dropped drastically. And I was like, I don't understand. And she was like, "Oh, you know, I'm thank you for doing this. You know, please do this." And I'm like, "Okay, well, you know, hopefully it was just like the first day." So then the Tuesday episode came, and I did a regular episode. And then at the end of that show, I was like, "Okay, remember Saturday, we're gonna talk about," and all of the Saturday episodes before that, the numbers were high. And so that next Saturday, I did the show on civics, and the numbers dropped. And it was, again, numbers were way low. And so that next live I did, I was like, "Dude, what is the deal? What's happening?" And she constantly would say, like, you know, "You need to keep doing it, keep doing it." And every time I would do one, we traded it up. I started doing the regular show on Saturday and the civic show on Tuesday, and the opposite would happen. The Saturday show, people didn't like it, and the Tuesday show that did civics, it was low. And so I was eventually like, "Dude, I got to stop doing this. Like it's killing me." So, you know, we got to figure out a way to spice that up for people to be interested.
Well, that's what I do when I jump on and you're talking about something. I'm like, "Can you please explain?"
Yeah,
what
explain
this
it.
is?"
Mm-hmm.
Because it helps get that civics in there in case somebody doesn't know.
Sure, to help kind of spread things open. And I always say that
Then
you
you
know,
get the spice because we're getting all the juicy dirt on local government with civics.
yes, right. I always say that honestly, the best way to get involved is to get educated, is to jump in. The thing is, they purposefully make it harder than it needs to be. And I always say that we need to just jump in and do it. Yes, David, that is exactly right. The Muncie Central School Corporation, they always bring the students down, and they always set through a couple different meetings. And the first one of the year last year, when they were it was either last year or the year before, when they brought the students in, it was a complete shit show. Absolutely insane. It was very, very crazy. Well, generally what they do, Tweety Bird, is they will have them come in and they have them speak. They have each one of them get up and address the council, and they come up with a thing. They have a class project. And I think last year's or the year before, maybe each year, the idea is they have to come up with an ordinance or a resolution that they as the class write, and they present it to the council for the council to then vote on. And I think that's what they do. And it's a really cool thing that they do. And that Muncie Central, I didn't go to Muncie Central. Miss Snyder is who she is. Everybody knows her and remembers her and talks about her. And for anybody that's ever been involved in local politics who went through the Muncie City School Corporation, everybody always says, like, you know, we really loved her class and she was one that really got us involved, yada, yada, yada. I remember my government teacher, and he basically was totally crazy. We would talk Monday through Thursday about things we didn't have a book. He would just talk off the top of his head. It was very cool. And then on Friday we would watch West Wing and he would sleep. And so that was a thing, but I was already well involved and interested by the time I was in that class. But schools are too woke and biased to teach parents civics. They don't teach. They tell them how to think. It depends on where you go. I think the school systems around here are, at least at this point, are still better than a lot of other places. But yeah. That was a Titan. Or Titan? Where's Titan? Where did Titan go? What school is that? That was a Delta Eagle. I don't know what y'all are talking about. So that was a Delta Eagle. So okay. On to the recount. So last Friday, let me pull this up here. I'll let you guys see. It's up here on the screen. Last Friday, damn it. Hold on. Okay. Muncie North Side. Yeah, I wasn't a city school kid. I went to Delta. The only schools that mattered to me was Delta and Yorktown. So you know. Okay. So for right, wrong, good, bad, here it is. The Delaware County Councilor Ryan Webb filed a verified petition for recount last Friday. Comes now petitioner Ryan S. Webb pro se in reference to the matter of recount for primary election to the office of Delaware County Council at Large in Delaware County, state of Indiana. Ryan Webb petitioner versus Eugene Whitehead, Bradley Bookout, Jessica Piper, David Williams, Amber Green, and Lori Jesse. So we had a couple of different responses that occurred last week. Basically, when this was filed, there were people who obviously knew that Ryan was going to do this, and they were in on the joke, like David, and they were taking the piss and being like, oh, Ryan's suing us, so I'm on the same side as Bookout. Obviously, David was joking. But there were real live people that were like, what? Ryan's suing Amber and David and all of these people, you know? And people were like legitimately like, whatever. State law says that for a recount to occur, that the petitioner has to basically turn the verified petition in, and he or she, the candidate, has to name the other candidates that were on the ballot for that office. So it's not like the candidate is specifically suing that other candidate. It's just they were the people a party to this, because it's very possible that the recount could affect Amber Green, or it could affect Lori Jesse. It might not affect Ryan, or it could affect Ryan. You know, it could affect any of these people, so they have to be named. Polk is upset about the money. He's been talking about it. What do you mean by that, GW Plays? He's up. Polk who? Brad Polk? Delaware County Treasurer? Is that who you mean? Okay, so it basically says, comes now petitioner Ryan S. Webb pro se and request a recount of the primary election held Tuesday, May 7th, 2024 for the office of Delaware County Council at Large in County of Delaware, state of Indiana. In support of this verified petition for recount, the petitioner being duly sworn states as follows. The petitioner, Ryan S. Webb, was a candidate for the office of Delaware County Council at Large. The office for which the petitioner requests for recount is Delaware County Council at Large. The precincts within the at-large districts are all 4 county council districts, number 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the Delaware County Council in the County of Delaware. And those precincts are precinct 2, 3, 8, 9, 14, 22, 28, 29, 33, 34, 36, 38, 40, 45, 46, 47, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 59, 60, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 69, 70, 71, 73, 74, 75, 77, 78, 87, 88, 90, 93, 94, and 98. The petitioner is entitled to a recount under Indiana Code 31261. The office of Delaware County Council at Large in the County of Delaware, State of Indiana, was voted upon in the following precincts, those same precincts that I listed. The names and addresses of the candidates are as follows. It's public record, but I'm not going to, you go through finding that if you want. I'm not going to show everyone's address. You can go through the trouble of getting the document if you so incline. The petitioner in good faith believes that the votes cast for the election of office of Delaware County Council and County of Delaware, State of Indiana election on May 7th in the precinct specified were not correctly counted and returned. The petitioner requests a recount of all the votes cast for election to the office of Delaware County Council at Large in the precinct specified. The petitioner requests, pursuant to Indiana Code 312.621.5, that the ballot cards from the ballot card voting system be counted manually from the following precincts and those same precincts that I listed. Wherefore, petitioner requests that upon due notice, the court enter an order appointing a recount commission, set a date, time, and place for recount, and further order impoundment of the election materials and proceedings be had pursuant to Indiana Code 312.6.1. And then it was signed on May 17th, 2024. So that's what happened there. Now, let's talk about what this means. Do we think, does Ryan think, which I want to say that's two separate individuals there. What I think or what Ryan thinks have nothing to do with each other. And I'm just saying, me as a person, do I think that this is going to have an effect on this election? Just depends. Does Ryan think that this is going to have an effect on this election from what I have gathered from him? It just depends. The election was lost by 67 votes. You know, I've often heard it said that really anybody that loses, when you're talking about an election where multiple thousand, meaning like 10,000 or more people are voting, any election that you lose by under 100 votes is worth being recounted. Bottom line. If you lose if you lose by anything under 100 votes, it's worth being recounted. Now, a lot of people won't. Most people don't recount unless you're within 5, 6, 7, 10, 20. I always tell the story about how my grandmother ran for Delaware County Recorder, and she lost by like 6 votes, and they filed for a recount. And when they went in, they found the 6 votes. They then found a 7th vote. So now my grandmother was ahead by 1. And then they found like 11 more votes. So they found the 6 that she was behind. Then they found the one that put her ahead of her opponent. and then they found 11 more. So then at that point, my grandma did not lose by 9. She now won by like 11. And at that point, the opponent filed for a recount. And they did a recount. And they went back in. And whatever occurred, those 11 votes were lost. And then the other person gained like 9. So now the person who originally won by 6, then upon first recount lost by 11, now was ahead by 9. And I think my grandmother said, "I'm done at this point. We're done. I'm not doing it anymore." Now that person who beat my grandmother was Jane Lassiter when Jane was at recorder. And so, you know, like, this shit can happen. It's kind of a weird deal. And I'll tell you, it comes down to, for anybody that has ever voted absentee, you will know that you get your envelope in the mail, you open it up, and there's a bunch of crap inside of it. You have your rules for the voters. You can get that out and throw that away. Then you have your ballot that you look off of, that you do your actual vote card. So you put that over here. Then you have a trifold piece of paper. And on the back of it, it has a place for 2 initials. The initials of the Republican and initial of a Democrat. And if that thing is not initialed by 2 different people, if it's only got one set of initials, they will throw that out. So you always have to check to make sure that don't vote that card unless it's got 2 initials. Then on the actual ballot that you fill in, you circle the Scantron, same thing. On the back, it has to have 2 sets of initials. And if it doesn't, they'll throw that out. So you vote, you stick that in. Well, what they do on election day is, if they don't have those 2 sets of initials, they'll throw ballots out. Well, then they have to decide when they go back to do the recount, do we keep those ballots in? Do we not keep them? You know, oh, did it look like someone tried to initial there lightly and their pen was dying? They go over different things, okay? And so that's the thing there. As a lot of people have mentioned here, Spangler was very, very upset. Spangler was very upset. Now, put a pin in this. I don't care if you like Ryan, you love Ryan, you don't like Ryan, or you hate Ryan. I don't care where you fall on that. Love him or hate him. Love to hate him, hate to love him. Whatever the deal is. The fact that Delaware County Clerk Rick Spangler act like a complete idiot. He treated Ryan like an idiot. He was yelling and cussing and screaming and carrying on when Ryan asked the clerk to do his damn job. I'm so sick of elected officials that will not or do not want to do their damn job. I am so sick of them. And so the fact that Ryan went in to ask the clerk a question about the process, and the fact that the clerk threw him out of his office, to me, is reprehensible. It's disgusting. Rick should resign. If Rick is not capable of doing his job in a manner that is, befitting the office of the clerk, if he cannot control himself, then he needs to walk in tomorrow morning, the 20th, and he needs to resign his seat. I don't know if he's not doing well at home. I don't know if it is a sickness. I don't know if he's tired of the politics. I don't know what his deal is. I don't understand, because he used to be a decent person to deal with. He used to be someone that was pleasant to talk to. He used to be someone that I would say, I don't mind dealing with Rick. I could talk to Rick both on and off the record. Was what in the paper? Tweety Bird, was what in the paper? But the fact that he acted the way that he did, again, I'm not asking you as a citizen watching this to like or respect Ryan. I am not asking you to hate or to not respect Ryan. I don't care what your opinion is of Ryan. The fact that this happened, a recount has to be called. A recount has to be called. Because why is Spangler acting that way? No. Okay, so Tweety Bird, no. What Spangler did was not in the paper. I have actually been told by multiple different sources from employees that actually work in the clerk's office in voter recount, sources within the old Delaware County building, sources from that building. And then they actually told me, I had not heard this from Ryan. And then while I was doing a live show last Wednesday, Mr. Webb was actually watching live. And I said, okay, I guess we'll do this. So I actually asked Ryan last Wednesday or last Thursday live, and Ryan came on, and I said, did something occur between you and Clerk Spangler today? And he came on and said, yeah. And he I'll put it to you this way. Ryan stated everything that I heard. The only difference is after that show, I was contacted by a couple of different sources who said, you don't have even the half of it. He said, these various people, one was a man, one was a woman, said, I cannot explain to you how over the top Rick Spangler was being. Now, I got to be honest. I've been in a professional setting doing something that I absolutely had a right to do, and Rick came after me. We all witnessed it right here live on a live on location episode that I did during the election board meeting, where I was issuing a challenge against Bradley Bookout and Sherry Riggin, and doing something that as a citizen I clearly had a right to do. Spangler attacked me for. Now, he didn't attack me with such vitriol and anger that I am hearing that he attacked Ryan by, but I have heard that he has done that in the past, and Rick and I have went toe-to-toe on a couple different things in the last year and a half. And that's what I'm saying. Something has changed with Rick in the last 2 years. Something has changed with Rick. I don't know what it is. I hope medically he's okay. I hope mentally he's okay. I don't wish anything bad on anybody, but people don't just change the way that he did. David Williams said, I remember this. I remember when David Williams filed his challenges, because David Williams also challenged Bookout and Ed Carroll. When he challenged those two people, Spangler cursed at David Williams. And we talked about that a little bit at the time it happened on here. Alva says maybe he's been a dick the whole time, but now that he knows his term limits are near, he don't give a shit anymore. That could very well be. Yeah, listen, and this isn't the first time. This isn't the first time that I have heard of issues with Rick. I've heard of I've heard of several other issues with Rick. And with various people. And I'm always like, why, what's the deal? Why would this be? What's the issue? And I'll tell you, the other people that I've talked with, have said, we don't understand why he's being this way. I don't know why he's acting like this. Stand by here a second. I'm trying to find here. Okay, yeah, right here. Here we go. This isn't Ryan's ordeal, but this is David Williams, and this is on March 4th. Okay.
I'll tell you what, you're starting a shitstorm today.
It's all right. I don't like it. I don't like people either, sir. I got friends.
You know you're vulnerable too, don't you? I've seen the filing.
You seen what?
I've seen your filing. You're vulnerable too.
Hey.
I understand.
See, I don't think that's appropriate. David Williams went up to file. David Williams went up to file the challenge. And Rick said, you're stirring up a shitstorm here. And then to me, in my opinion, he almost threatens him. He says, you're vulnerable too. I've seen your filing. It's like, well, what's that mean? Does that mean as the Delaware County clerk that has access to my filing, you're going to contact someone and tell them to come up here and file a complaint, to file a challenge against me? Now it just so happened, I think, that David filed in the last, little bit before the filing deadline, so no one could. But I think it's ridiculous that Rick throws that up in his face. What's taking him so long? Stamp the paper, bring it back to me.
There you go. Good time, sir.
Oh, no. Poor Rick. Poor Ricky. Poor little Rick. Oh, poor Rick. Hold on here. Let's we'll just go on the Rick tour here. Let's see. Okay. So okay. We'll do this one here then. Let's see. And we need to go forward from that. So if we are going off what happened last year, let's move forward. I'm asking the board to not change what happened from last year to this year.
What happened last year has nothing to do with this year. It's not. It's okay, Chris. Laugh all you want. You know, you say you don't enjoy this. Why are you always the one here trying to do this? I mean, you know.
How many challenges that?
Well, because you get your minions to do them for you, Kristopher.
Right there. Rick's editorializing what's going on in an election board meeting and saying, you say you don't enjoy this, but doing this, you know, why are you always the one doing this? What do you mean? This is the very first time I have ever challenged anybody. And he says, and I tell him that, what do you mean? How many challenges have I ever filed? And he says, you don't, you get your minions to do them for you. I've never had anybody challenge anybody. If you look back and you think on it, the only people that have ever had minions challenge anybody would be the Republican Party when they get Charlie Richmond and David Hall to go up here and challenge people like Troy Ingram and Brandy Webb and others. That's the definition of minions filing on behalf of someone. What this is ridiculous. And it just goes to show, again, Rick has a hard time holding his tongue. Now, he knew clear as a bell that we were here recording and that there were lots of people around. So he's not going to lose himself as badly as he would when Webb or David or someone else goes in and he's in his office, you know, on his time, and he's thinking that he's, you know, pretty secure and safe in doing what he wants. That's why I tell anybody, anytime you go in to deal with government, record it. Hit record before you get out of your car. Put it down. Carry it in. You don't need to. If you want video, record video. But as long as you have the audio, that's what you need. That's what you need. And, you know, it's, that's it. How dare anyone ask for accountability? How dare anyone ask for accountability? Hell, David Williams, the Bilbrey minion, you were me for a while, you know, which I would like to add, as Brandon said earlier on in the show, we are on a Mike Jones watch. It's been, let me see. It's been 12 days since anyone has heard from Mike Jones. I just want to make sure that Mike is safe and sound, because I've not heard anything from him. You know, I posted this. I was very concerned. I posted this last night because I was very concerned. I posted, I tagged him, Mike Jones. Everyone in Delaware County has noticed that you've been really quiet since about 7:56 p.m. on Tuesday, May 7th, 2024. Is everything okay? People are asking. And I mean, honestly, no one gives a shit, but thought I'd ask. Why? Oops, I need to change that. Why so quiet and sad as of late? And as you notice, we've got a Mike Jones sad face. God. So I wonder if I needed to do a disclaimer, because I did edit that from just a stupid looking face into a frowny face. So I might need to go put on a disclaimer on that picture real quick so I don't get sued.
Oh, not yet. Not until July.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm safe.
Right. That's when it goes into effect, is July, right?
That's right. You're
So we
right.
can do whatever we want till then.
You're right. I don't need no stinking disclaimers. That's that's exactly right. I forgot all about that. It doesn't go in effect until July. So, well, that makes me happy then. So I changed that to why so instead of why do. Why so quiet as of late? So yeah, we are very concerned. I'm gonna have the sheriff go down and do a wellness check on Mike tomorrow down in his stamp licking office, because I get the impression, I don't have anything to back this up, but I get the wee little impression that the sheriff isn't a big fan of Mr. Jones. You know, that's when that fight when Mike came up and charged me at the Justice Center, and I was all pissed off and I was yelling, and Tony came down there and I was like, your guy, meaning your county employee here. I knew he wasn't a sheriff's deputy. And Tony's like, no, not my guy. And I'm like, he's like, no, I want to make, he's like, I want to make sure you are clear, not my guy. And I'm like, I was like, okay, I get it. So I thought that was really funny. Also of note and of various interest is the election occurred now 12 days ago. And isn't it interesting that James King has still not made a post? Like, listen, look, this post was made May 7th at 5:32 a.m. Thank you in advance for your vote today. Listen, doesn't matter if you're talking about Webb or Amber, all of the winners and all of the losers have commented, except the biggest loser of them all, James King. The biggest loser of them all has not said anything since 5:32 a.m. And I'm very concerned. Maybe we need to have them do a wellness check on Mike and James together. You think they're like both sitting in a bathtub somewhere with water just pouring on them, naked, sitting in the bathtub, crying for the last 12 days? I don't know. If anybody sees either of these guys anywhere, first of all, you might tell James to make a status and tell everybody, like, he could concede the race and tell the winning opponent, you could tell him to say congratulations to Brand and Mike Jones. Hey, listen, maybe Mike is packing. So maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe he's taking my advice and packing his office. I don't know. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. I think we've talked about everything. So I do want to say in closing, I was a little disappointed in myself last Wednesday when I went to the Board of Works meeting. Generally, they will not speak to me. They will not answer questions. They don't ask questions. I go up there, I ask questions, and then they're like, okay, well, thank you. And that's it. So I am never normally looking forward to them answering me or speaking to me. So when I went up there last week and I said my piece, and then I stepped away and she was like, I want to ask a question. And I stepped back and she was like, what do you want us to do? I was so caught off guard, first of all, but second of all, I was in my head because I was wanting to say two things. First of all, I was wanting to say, do your damn job. But second of all, I was wanting to get out. These meetings need to be longer because all of the other Board of Works meetings for cities this size, they last an hour, 2 hours, 45 minutes at the shortest. So these meetings definitely need to be longer. But I was wanting to get that out, and she kept interrupting me. So I stammered and I stumbled. But I will not do that again. They will not catch me off guard again. When I go in this coming Wednesday, I have a speech already written up, and we will deliver the point on point to them, and we will be ready for any kind of follow-up they may or may not have. I don't know. We'll see, but they won't catch me off guard again. People with decorum concede, then drift off into the sunset. Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Please, if you have not hit the like button, consider hitting the like button on the way out. If you are not subscribed, do so. It costs you absolutely nothing. Subscribing then allows you to hit the bell so you can stay notified when we go live or drop other content that you will want to be notified for. I just wanted to say how disgusting the music hip-hop industry has become. It's quite unbelievable what keeps unfolding. Yeah, I got my eye on that as well. That's definitely interesting. Obviously, music being something I'm very passionate about and something a lot of you don't even know about me. But yeah, watching all of that unfold has been crazy. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. It's been a crazy couple of months, honestly, for all of that. So, yeah, I'm watching that as well. We might talk about that sometime. We're getting ready to come up into a slow time because there's no elections for a while, but we've got lots of government corruption and chaos to cover from here to the end of time. So I've had a couple of people say, what are you going to talk about now? And I'm like, what do you mean? Talk about what we always talk about. Do what we always do. Try to take over the world. Okay, yeah, Hoyt's still not finished. That's absolutely. You extended the meeting 10 minutes, so we need 8 more people to comment. Yes, right. Make sure you check. I will do that, Alva. I will get ready to look up at that as soon as we get off here. Have you seen the video released with Cassie Ventura? No, I have not. I will look that up too. Or if you have a link on that, Nicole, send that to me. All right, you guys, please hit like on your way out. And remember, pop back in tomorrow. We will be here at 9 p.m. Eastern. As always, thank you all very much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a great start to your week. God bless each and every one of you. And we will see you next time. Goodbye. I got a lot of stuff coming up about the crisis center and all that stuff. We got a lot to talk about this week.